And also we're very experimental because us guys we're from the gig world, right? So we're not from the church world, you know. So I remember charging Aroro with creating intros, musical intros to worship that were like gig intros. yeah, man. Like, you know, and one of my favorite ones was the Earth, Wind and Fire. Yeah, and that's the beginning of service, you know. it was like so. Okay. So you're like, hey, if you're there for the beginning of service, if you're not there for the beginning of service, you might miss something really cool, man. You know.
You ready, Kanjii? Today I'm the guy doing it. Ladies and gentlemen, the conversation continues.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm getting straight into this one.
I said my audio up. I didn't even check. Yeah, it's on.
Sir, transition us. I think it's about 2008, 2009.
Yeah. Okay, so now Mavuno is like now kind of taking off. And at that point, like I was doing this commute from Naivasha Road to South Sea, which didn't seem like much now, but then I was like, man, I need to be closer to that side. And then, you know, we've got a newborn, and now we're thinking about like really settling down. So my mom gives me a gift, which is down payment for a home.
What?
Yeah. And I need to say that, Bana, because that was like a seed, some serious seed that she gave us. So we end up buying a house in South B. The church is now literally across the road in South C. And that now almost starts a whole new era for Kijiji, because we moved to South B. We're done with living in where the studio is. So we rented a house in South C. And that house now ends up being like really close to where the Mavuno office was, because I'm working at Mavuno full time, but I'm also running Kijiji full time. So and this was I once had a guy say in the States, where he said, if you hire a really good chef, like who's a game-changing chef, be okay with him starting his own restaurant.
Wow.
Yeah. Like if that's the cost of you having him there,
wow,
be okay with him starting his own restaurant. And it's just that thinking, it's kidogo American capitalism, but it's a really powerful concept that if you have the right guy, create the environment for him to play at his level and also at whatever you need, right? And that's what Pastor M did with me. So I'm not saying I'm a great chef, but he realized that I was created for two worlds, right? And this was extremely different, my guy. Like I can't even tell you how different this was.
This is insane,
right? So I'm a full-time worship leader for Mavuno Church, but I'm also full-time working at. So I'm sure you're wondering, how could you have two full-time jobs at the same time? And so
you're on Mavuno staff.
I was on Mavuno staff,
and almost at executive level.
I'm on the executive team, not almost. We're four of us in the executive team. It's Pastor M, Pastor Linda, Pastor Simon, and me. Okay? So I'm working full time. I'm locked in. I'm like really in the church, right?
And I like where we're going.
Yeah.
First and foremost, because me, I'm so passionate about history.
Yeah.
And this is a church with thousands of people now.
Yeah.
When you say you're executive, it doesn't mean that you're just doing worship.
No. No.
What does it mean now when you say you're
It
executive?
means I'm in the room when we're making decisions on like pretty much any major church decision.
So did you know about moving?
Yeah, completely. I knew about moving when we needed to move to add another service, a Saturday service. You know, it's the four of us talking through it and trying to figure out how do we pull this off.
Okay.
You know, so I'm deeply invested in Mavuno Church, but at the same time I'm also 100% running Kijiji.
Yeah.
So and I was like, again, like I said earlier, like I'm sure you're wondering, you who's watching, like, man, how in the world did that happen? And it literally happened because Pastor M was courageous enough to allow me to have a restaurant.
Ooh.
Right? He was courageous enough. And so the integration of Kijiji and Mavuno was such that Pastor M, I didn't have an office at Mavuno offices. My office was at the Kijiji office. And anyone who worked for me at Mavuno worked at the Kijiji offices. And some of those people were also Kijiji employees. Like it was this like
me.
Yeah, it was this like very uncommon world. Yeah, it was a very uncommon world. So my office was at Kijiji, but I was doing Mavuno work and Kijiji work simultaneously. And then I'd go to Kijiji, Mavuno for a meeting, walk there because it was walking distance.
Yeah.
Go for the meeting, come back to Kijiji to continue working.
In fact, worship leading practice used to be done at Kijiji.
At the Kijiji office, yeah. So we just kind of created this kind of really, really, really integrated world. That was, I've not seen it again. But it allowed me to play at my highest level for the calling on my life, but also for the church. So I was doing everything at the highest level just because, Pastor M let me cook, man. He let me be me. And so
this was not norm, dude.
It wasn't normal.
When you're in it,
yeah,
and you haven't, you see, I'm a 20-something-year-old coming up.
Yeah.
Me, I don't know.
Yeah.
This is not how things operate.
Yeah.
But now in adulting, I'm just like, what on earth?
It was very uncommon. So trust is a big thing for me. And I work with people I trust, and trust is not just like, I know you won't tell my secrets. It's like trust means that I know you're gonna get the thing done, right? So there's a whole thing for, even literally, we're having this conversation with my sis because we were planning my mom's 80th birthday, and that's the idea. I just asked her, I was like, hey man, this thing has so many details, man. Like I've done such bigger gigs. Why is it, And then I realized it's because for me, working with people I trust means I don't get in the detail, right? So if I'm like, hey Richie, we have this guy called Josh coming, and we need to do da. I'm like, we agree, and then it's like let's meet at the finish line. So me, I know what I'm working on. I know you know what you're working on, and we'll keep on talking.
And if I have challenges, like I know to come.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
So and I think building it that way, I think was I think modeled for me really well by Pastor M. Because it was such a huge trust thing. It's like, so even now, live at the village.
So you have a salary at this time?
I have a salary, I have a full-time salary.
As Kanjii?
Yeah, which allowed me to get a mortgage because I'm getting a mortgage on my fledgling business. But
and what do your responsibilities in Mavuno look like?
So my responsibilities in Mavuno were obviously the music and the service. So I created the service experience. So the service became a Kijiji event, literally. So I was literally, all the things I'm trying to do at Kijiji events, I'm trying to do here at the service.
Dude, this one is just, this is for me.
Yeah.
Can you remember that ad we did?
Which ad?
The one we were laughing. It was even, I think, you have won, even with Kera. Shamba. I'll find it. I have to find that
Oh,
thing.
no way.
$1 million. Yay. Zim dollar. So,
yeah. And it was for church.
yes, it was for church.
Yeah. So, but it was so all the creativity that we had for everything that we were doing, we were applying it for church.
Walk somebody through this. I sometimes I'm biased because I understand.
Yeah.
So before, what people may think you're doing
Yeah.
is when people walk in, the music that is playing,
Yeah.
and maybe during offering, the music that is
Yeah,
played. Anything to do with music is
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
What does a service now entail?
Yeah. So we came up with this terminology at Kijiji, which was lot to lot, meaning parking lot to parking lot. Like from when someone arrives in the parking lot to when they get back to the parking lot, you control the experience for them, right? And so being in charge of the service was basically the parking lot to the parking lot. So it wasn't just the music that happens. It was, what are the things outside the space? Does the music reach outside? Are you greeted by nice warm music as you're walking in? It was, the praise and worship music. It was the hosting, the MCs who come up. Dude, literally, now it's a common thing, 2 hosts on stage. We started that.
No way, Kanjii.
Bro, nobody was doing 2 hosts.
No way.
Nobody was doing 2 hosts. Scripted the way we were doing them. Yeah. That was our thing. That was our thing.
No way.
Yeah, that was our thing.
People who are reading announcements.
Yeah, exactly. You had a guy coming in to do announcements. Us guys came in from the gig world, where what's better than 1 MC is 2 MCs giving banter and chatting and a guy and a girl, and that's what we do at Spread the Love festivals and all of this. It was 2 people come up and there's joking and whatnot and this and that. Like, that wasn't there, bro.
Even
That wasn't that one, I can very comfortably say, was not there. Yeah, it was in the gig world. It wasn't in the church world.
And let me ask, it's so common now. A motif, a keyboard was not common.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Screens were not a common thing.
No.
So therefore, doing things on a screen
Yeah.
for people to see was not common.
Yeah. Dude, I remember when Mavuno first got the LED wall and the thing switched on in the service. And we hadn't told people anything. Do you know people cheered? Like, it was that different of a thing, I mean, now they're all over, right? And there's all these screens and LED screens and LED walls,
even projectors,
and yeah, exactly. So the so there was a very integration between what I was doing in the entertainment world and what I was doing in church, and the setup was such that the team at Kijiji was also the team for Mavuno, and we're doing the rehearsals there. Aaron Rimbu is the music director. We're mapping out the service hosting. We're mapping out even with the sermon series.
Yep.
It was again very creative industry thinking, where we'd get a room of creative strategic creatives, and we'd come up with creative strategy for our sermon series. So Pastor M is like, here's what I want to preach. Then now we are able to say why it's important, who it's targeted, who it's targeting. We're able to say, how do you package this? How do you, what do you call the sermon series?
What creative things are going to be done within the sermon series?
Exactly. What are the creative pieces? What's the deco going to look like? What's the ad for the sermon series going to look like? That stuff was revolutionary. Like, it was not happening in the church world.
I want you to explain. You've said something and you think it's normal. I use it in a lot of different digital trainings that I do, I always reference that Mavuno
Yeah.
had a target audience.
Yeah.
And they called the person, the
Mike-
guy,
Mike
Mike,
and McKenna.
and the lady McKenna.
Yeah.
And guys are like, but it's church. Everybody should come.
Yeah.
It's open to everybody.
Yeah.
Explain the thinking behind Mavuno
Yeah.
targeting a certain person.
Yeah. So
Do you understand how different that was?
Absolutely. It was very different, but I think the thinking is less in terms of, that idea of everyone should come to church. That is very true. But if you don't have an aim, then how do you know what you've hit? And so the whole idea of coming up with a target is basically saying who's the primary person that we feel God calling us to. So it wasn't marketing strategy. It was basically saying, man, there's someone that we feel that God has specifically crafted us to be able to reach.
Peter versus Paul.
Exactly. And for us guys, we felt that who God is calling us to reach is people who don't like church or people who don't know about church. Right? And so we needed to be very clear that that's who we're aiming for. Now, will other people come? Yeah, for sure. But we needed to make sure that we don't lose who we feel that we've been called to. And so everything that we crafted with those people in mind, and I've always had a big heart in me for the people on the periphery, and the people who are like those are my people. Whenever I find them, I'm like, those are my people, man. Those are my people. Like, they're the people that I'm attracted to, and I want them to have a Jesus experience, and it's literally those same guys, So this was not just strategy for me. It was passion. It was what my passion is, And I think that's where now those things, it dovetailed perfectly, man. Like, our audience for Kijiji, Mavuno's target was literally the same person. It was the same person, which is why we, now when we are doing live at the village, then the conversation with Pastor M is like, yeah, man, let's fold this. Let's, we would end every live at the village telling guys, we have a regular gig. It's every Sunday morning at 9 a.m. at Bellevue Cinema, right? That's how connected the worlds were, and I think that gave some huge impetus to the movement, man. Huge momentum. Because you're just doing things differently, and I remember how cool it was seeing those people start walking in through the doors. And they'd come in, the chicks in their small skirts, and in other churches be like, hey, you need to cover up, whatever. And for us, it's like, no, let Jesus do that work in her.
Wow.
Let Jesus be the one who does that work in her. Or a guy coming in, he's come from the club and his bloodshot eyes, dealing with a hangover right now, but I'm in church. He's in church. And like, dude, come. Let God be the one who transforms you, but you're welcome here, And that was radical at the time. But man, so worth it, man. So worth it.
Wow.
Yeah.
And from a Mavuno standpoint,
Yeah.
as much as Kijiji has transitioned now to South, you've moved to South B, Kijiji has moved to South C.
Yeah.
Mavuno offices are still in South C, walking distance.
Yeah.
But Mavuno moves from
the South Sea Sports Club to Bellevue Drive-In.
So we're talking
Cinema,
400 people maxed into.
Now, you guys, man, the church was on a super J curve. Hockey stick, bro. Hockey stick for real.
Moon to the moon.
Yeah. and so when we moved now into this bigger dome.
But what does that mean for you from a responsibility perspective? Now, in terms of you have to, what does that mean?
So creatively, it didn't mean anything else. My drive was still the same. What we were trying to do was still the same. It's just that we were doing it for more people, right? And I remember even us having this conversation, where Pastor M was coaching the team, and he's like, hey, okay, cool, we're going from 400 to a space that is going to fit 1,000. And literally we grew from 400 to 700 in like a matter of weeks, and I remember him, and I remember my response to him, and I was like I don't see anything different for me. Like, what we're doing is what we're going to keep on doing. We're just going to do it to a bigger audience. And because the intentionality was still the same, it was like, man, create an experience. And we use these two things, which was, it was such a cool way of looking at it, because church at that time, there was this thing called the seeker sensitive movement, which was very church light, but hey, let's just do amazing church, and you come and meet Jesus here, but we will take away the offense of Christianity, of the gospel, right? And that was called the seeker sensitive movement, made popular in the States by guys like Bill Hybels and all of those guys. Then there was the other church that looked with disdain upon this other church, which was kind of like the Holy Spirit movement, where, this is just the power of the Holy Spirit in this place, right?
If you don't understand it, you don't get it.
Yeah.
It's not for you.
Don't try and package, let the Holy Spirit show up, And I remember the conversation with Mavuno where it was like, you could think of it like, let's do a blend 50-50. But I remember Pastor M saying something that stuck with me, which was, he's like, let's do it 100% seeker sensitive and 100% Holy Spirit.
Nice.
Like, let's not put ourselves in a box, So let people come because, we launched like this marketing campaign where we called it Maraos, and this was created by our creative team. And Maraos was, ingia mat, comp everyone the mat ride,
pay for everybody.
Yeah, but then use that opportunity to tell them about the church. And you're thinking,
it's been paid for you by Mavuno Church.
Yeah. And you're thinking, okay, a full mat3 one way, it's like a few hundred shillings, at the time. And you're thinking, but then I've got an audience for 20 minutes. I'm like, a captive audience for 20 minutes because you paid my rao, and give them flyers to our next sermon series and all of that, So that was some really, really, really creative thinking that was very, hey, come in. But on the flip side, when they come in, it might be a cool place, but man, we were hungry for the Holy Spirit, and we're hungry for God to move and move in people's lives. So it wasn't just coolness for the sake of it being cool, which I think was a pretty cool. That was pretty special, man.
Okay, in terms of growth of your department, specifically, I'm talking now music.
Yeah,
like, who are some of the guys you've had the privilege now of being around?
Okay, so I'll throw some names. So the guys now on the worship team, we've got a super squad of guys and people now who ended up doing things on their own. We have Brian King,
nice,
from Votaries. We have Benja. What's his second name?
Kaba.
No.
Not bad man, long time.
Benja was Odhiambo? Benjamin Odhiambo.
Otieno. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Benja Otieno, who ended up to be an incredible worship leader by himself, and now he's a pastor. Has planted a church, actually. Then we have Angie Gashui, a phenomenal singer. Wendy's on the worship team. The band is smoking. The band is Aaron Rimbui, is JJ Odhiambo, Henry Wamai, and Kongo Mbathi on bass. And I mean, that was a heck of a band. and Kavuda as well. We're leading with Kavuda. So that was a A team, man. You know, so the music is incredible. Music is incredible. And also we're very experimental because us guys we're from the gig world, right? So we're not from the church world, you know. So I remember charging Aroro with creating intros, musical intros to worship that were like gig intros. yeah, man. Like, you know, and one of my favorite ones was the Earth, Wind and Fire. Yeah, and that's the beginning of service, you know. it was like so.
Okay.
So you're like, hey, if you're there for the beginning of service, if you're not there for the beginning of service, you might miss something really cool, man. You know, and you know, even with the songs, we're looking at songs very differently, so we've got a really super team. Yeah, and looking at songs differently, man. You know, that's when I started, you know, with the world of takebacks, and we ended up calling them takebacks. They didn't have a name, but a takeback is, you know, taking a pop song and reclaiming it for the church, and not an original idea.
Yep.
Because you know, quite a few of the hymns that we sing were pop tunes. You know, How Great and Mighty is Our God was a bar tune that was taken and rewritten. The lyrics were rewritten. So you know, because I you know, this is one of the things that I got so many people were like, man,
sing the hymns.
Yeah, what's wrong with you? Why are you doing this? Even to this day, even like good friends of mine, you know, who are like, man, you didn't have to do that. I'm like, dude, some of the hymns you sing are exactly that, you know. And so we did that, but all of it was just thinking, man, how do we help create a stepping stone for Mike and McKenna into church, and create you know, some familiarity. So my favorite one, I have two favorite takebacks. Two favorite takebacks.
I went into a zone remembering that.
Yeah, the first one was there was a super group from Nigeria called P Square, who was like, I think them, Two-Face, and D'banj were the beginning of the what now is the Afrobeat movement, right?
Yep.
So anyway, so P Square had a song, oh yeah, oh yeah, and we took that song and
no one be like you.
Yeah. And so we rewrote the lyrics for that. And at that time, so this is not an old song. It's the number one song in Africa. And so guys come in and they hear, but now what? Wait, what? And so that was interesting. And then the other one was Ngauo, Premier Ngauo. Yeah, so we did that, and the whole thing was Hapa Mavuno. Hapa Mavuno. Oh, Hapa Mavuno. And the thing is, it's hard to take those songs and rewrite them, and still keep the flavor, and still that they're cool. They're not cheesy, you know. So that was a very big creative exercise. How do you take this and make it a church song without it sounding forced? And but one of the best things that happened, I remember, was Pastor Carol went. They went on holiday.
Pastor M's wife.
Pastor M's wife went on holiday to Coastal, and she had Premier Ngauo. Maybe it was on the speakers or the band played it, and she turned to Pastor M. They are playing Mavuno's song. I was like, taken back.
Job done.
Job done. You know, and you know, so that was very innovative. But you know, we're keeping very clear on who we are and what we're trying to do. And there just seems to be this like really easy flow between Kijiji and Mavuno. and it's because of my relationship with Pastor M that you know, and that is possible. So to the point that even when I felt like it was time for me to not be on staff at Mavuno, you know, that relationship continued. You know, in fact, people didn't know I was not on staff because you know, Kijiji, you know, was still a very connected partner to Mavuno. Yeah.
And what led you to get to that point? Okay, or maybe in fact, then let's hear then now what's happening in Kijiji.
Okay.
I think that now.
Okay, cool.
With Mavuno is very clear.
Yeah, and there's some connectivity, right? Like, so